And a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Burgess, and I want to share with you the information from Napoleon Hill's blockbuster book, Think and Grow Rich, this morning. And we want to begin at the beginning. What better place to start, right? And the reason I want to bring this material to you is because this book has made such a dramatic difference in my life. I mean, this book truly changed my life. There's no question about that. And February 1996, I answered an ad in the newspaper. I'm a broke eighth grade dropout at the time, going absolutely nowhere in life. And I meet a guy who says, Tim, get a copy of Think and Grow Rich and study a little bit every day for the rest of your life. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. You're an eighth grade dropout. Think about that. You quit school in the eighth grade and somebody tells you to get a copy of one book, and study a little bit every day for the rest of your life. I didn't want to get any book, let alone a book like this, Think and Grow Rich, which really, until you get into the book and read it a couple of times, this thing can be called a difficult read. And that's why I'm here today. I want to simplify this. So February 1996, he says, get a copy of this book and study a little every day for the rest of your life. He was a mega millionaire, not a multimillionaire. He had a net worth of well over $100 million. I did not. He had the world's fastest mega yacht. He had estates all over the country. He had the ability to fly wherever he wanted on his private and personal custom-built jet. I didn't. He gave me that instruction, and I started to judge him. And I started to wonder, what in the hell is wrong with this guy? And something clicked that day, and I don't really know what it was. Then I realized that he had all of that. I didn't. Maybe I should listen to him. Now, I'm not saying that because he had all of this wealth financially, excuse me, and he had, the world's fastest mega yacht, and that's a fact, and he owned his own custom-built airplane, and he had a collection of Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Porsches and just the exotic sports cars, and just lived life. He had life. I'm not saying he's any better than you or I, because quite frankly, he's not. He's no more valuable to his children than you are to your children. However, he accomplished and figured out how to earn a lot of money. And let's just be honest with each other. Most people don't earn a lot of money. Most people are struggling to get by. So when he told me to get a copy of a book called Think and Grow Rich, I really didn't want to, but I did. So what I'd like to do today is help you just get started. At the very beginning, the publisher's preface. And if you like what we do me a favor, push the subscribe button and push the little notification button right next to the subscribe button. I think there's a little bell or something. Push that. And that way you'll be notified, because after we do this, we'll do another one based on the author's preface. And then we'll do this on the introduction, and we'll do each chapter of the book. And we'll do it with interviews with people who have become massively successful doing this material and following Napoleon Hill, not just reading it, not just knowing it, not just filling their head with knowledge, how you did enough of that in school and college anyway, but by implementing success principles that people like Henry Ford. Now, I know some of you may not recognize the name Henry Ford. So let me bring it to your awareness. Ford Motor Company. Yeah, Henry started with absolutely nothing but an idea. What about a guy named William Wrigley? Have you ever heard of Wrigley chewing gum? Yeah, he started at scratch with absolutely nothing. Well, let's fast forward into today's world. We have a gentleman named Jeff Bezos, a little tiny company named Amazon. Whether he knows it or not, he's following all of this. But people who follow it on purpose by design, maybe you'll recognize these names. Barbara Corcoran. Damon John of the Shark Tank. They promote the fact that these are the principles that they followed to get where they are today. And many wealthy people that have followed these principles, either consciously or unconsciously. And we'll get into that as we go through the book. But this book absolutely changed my life in a radical manner to the good. Once again, I was a kid going nowhere, absolutely nowhere. And I started to study this material, started to study this book when I had absolutely no confidence, zero, zilch, nada, none. And the more I studied it, it just started to make sense. And then it took me a while, but once I started to implement this material, as Napoleon will say in the author's preface, which will be our next video, will tell us once you figure out what the secret is and actually put it into use, you'll literally be swept on to success. And I can tell you that's true. When I implemented the material, instead of just knowing it, when I implemented the material, I increased my income 604% in just 1 year. Now, I'm not telling you that to impress you in any way, shape, or form. What I'd like to do is impress upon you that this material works. If a kid that quit school in the 8th grade can go out and increase his income over 600% in 1 year, then what could you do with it? So we start at the very beginning of the book, and we start in the publisher's preface. And he talks about how this book conveys the experience of more than 500 men of great wealth who began at scratch. And this is the part that they kind of get you, who began at scratch with nothing to give in return for riches except thoughts, ideas, and organized plans. So these people didn't have a lot of money to start their businesses. They didn't have a bankroll behind them to get things started. They didn't have that. They had nothing to give in return for riches except thoughts, ideas, and organized plans. He says here you have the entire philosophy of money making, just as it was organized from the actual achievements of the most successful men known to the American people during the past 50 years. Now, the book was written in 1937. So the past 50 years, 37 previous. But ladies and gentlemen, fast forward to 2022, where we are right here, right now, today. And these principles are just as valid as they are now as they were then. Once again, it doesn't make any difference who you look at, whether it's Truett Cathy at Chick-fil-A. We already mentioned Damon John Barbara Corcoran. What about, and I don't know if I pronounced his name right or not, so I'll say it this way, Mr. Musk, Elon or Elon Musk. He follows these principles. He says it describes what to do, also how to do it. Okay, it describes what to do and how to do it. Maybe my first mentor was onto something when he said study a little bit every day for the rest of your life. It describes what to do and how to do it. It presents complete instructions on how to sell your personal services. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of us are in sales of personal services. We're not selling a tangible product. I'm not selling a widget. I'm not selling a mouse to a computer. I'm selling an idea. Maybe you're selling an idea. This describes completely how we do it. He says it provides you with a perfect system of self-analysis that will just readily disclose, not just disclose, that will readily disclose what has been standing between you and the big money in the past. So what has been standing between you and the big money in the past? Well, it'll readily disclose it. It describes the famous Andrew Carnegie formula of personal achievement by which he accumulated hundreds of millions of dollars for himself and made no fewer than a score of millionaires to whom he taught his secret. Now, I apologize. I don't know what the hell a score means. He made no fewer than a score of millionaires to men whom he taught his secret. I don't know what that means, but here's what I do know. If you study Andrew Carnegie at all, and you study the people that worked with him at the executive level, he made a lot of people extremely wealthy, a lot of people. So I'm not sure exactly what a score means, but I'm just going to say he made a lot of millionaires, a bunch of them. However, Napoleon Hill, through this blockbuster book, and by organizing these philosophies into really very simple wording that you and I can understand, take, and implement, he has created even more millionaires than Carnegie did, just by people who study this book. He says this, and this is one of the things that grabbed me when I first started reading this book, and hopefully it'll grab you too. He says, perhaps you do not need all that is to be found in the book. No one of the 500 men from whose experiences it was written did. But you may need one idea, plan, or suggestion to start you toward your goal. He says somewhere in the book, you will find this needed stimulus. So wait a minute, time out, hang on. Perhaps I don't need all that is to be found in the book. No one of the 500 men implemented everything in the book. Oh, well, that's a relief. I don't have to be a master at every chapter then, do I? No, you don't. He says the book was, this is once again the publisher's preface. The book was inspired by Andrew Carnegie after he had made his millions and retired. See, it was written by the man whom Carnegie disclosed The astounding secret of his riches, the same man that the other 500 wealthy people disclosed the secret to their riches, the source to their riches. He says, in this volume will be found the 13 principles of money making essential to every person who accumulates sufficient money to guarantee financial independence. What is financial independence, ladies and gentlemen? We've got to describe that. What the heck is financial independence? What does it mean? What does financial independence mean to you? You may be financially independent right now, but still not have the money that you want. Financially independent could mean I don't borrow money and ask for anybody to help me with my obligations each month. I'm financially independent. Financial independence might mean I do what I want, when I want, how I want, with who I want, and I don't make any decisions based on a number and a bank balance somewhere. I make decisions based on what I want to do. Financial independence might mean millions and millions of dollars to you, and it may not. But once again, in this volume, will be found the 13 principles of money making essential to every person who accumulates sufficient money to guarantee financial independence. The publisher continues and says it's estimated that the research which went into the preparation before the book was written, or could be written, research covering more than 25 years of continuous effort, could not be duplicated at a cost of less than $100,000. That's 1937. Convert 100,000 1937 to 100,000 today. He says, moreover, the knowledge contained in the book never can be duplicated at any cost. And that's simple for the reason that more than half of the 500 men who supplied the information have passed on. He says, riches cannot always be measured in money. Make sure we understand that as we go into this. You have a lot of money, you have millions and millions of dollars, but you don't have peace of mind, you don't have total wealth. Yeah, that's a fact. Riches or financial riches is absolutely a big part of wealth. But what about the other areas of life? Spiritual, social, mental, physical, and family. What about those areas? How about a bunch of millions of dollars and millions of dollars, but your health is in the shitter? You're, 80 pounds overweight. You've got a toddler hanging on each hip and one right across the belly. What the hell good is it, folks? But let's make no mistake. You can have your health, great social life, great friends, great relationships, but if you don't have any money, you're missing a big part of true wealth, okay? So let's just keep it in balance. Let's keep it in balance. Riches cannot always be measured in money. The publisher continues, says, money and material things are essential for freedom of body and mind. But there are some who will feel that the greatest of all riches can be evaluated only in terms of lasting friendships, harmonious family relationships, sympathy and understanding between business associates, and introspective harmony, which brings one peace of mind measurable only in spiritual values. Napoleon will discuss throughout the book that riches means all of it. And as we fast forward and we continue to evolve with this material and we continue to study and observe, riches, really, there's 6 areas of life: spiritual, social, mental, physical, family, and financial. And my first mentor, who absolutely rearranged my DNA and my thought process, he was the one that made it very clear to me, and very accurately so, that money would be the last sign of success I would ever see. I have to get everything else right first. And I didn't want to hear that at the time. I just needed some cash. Excuse me. The publisher continues and he says, all who read, understand, and apply. Oh, there it is. Read, understand, and apply. Well, if we don't have the application of, what the hell good is it? So read, understand, and apply these principles. All who read, understand, and apply these principles will be better prepared to attract and enjoy these higher states, which always have been and always will be denied to all except those who are ready for them. So all of that good that you desire in your life, everything that you really want, are you ready? Are you truly prepared to receive it? Mentally, are you prepared to receive it? I wasn't prepared to receive the good I want. I'm still preparing myself to receive all of the good that I desire in my life. I'm not saying I don't have a great life. I'm very grateful for all that I have. but I'm still preparing myself to receive more. That's what he's saying here. He says, be prepared, therefore, when you expose yourself to the influence of this philosophy, to experience a changed life, which may help you not only to negotiate your way through life with harmony and understanding, but also to prepare you for the accumulation of material riches in abundance. Let's do that again. Be prepared, therefore, when you expose yourself to the influence of this philosophy, to experience a changed life, which may help you not only to negotiate your way through life with harmony and understanding, but also to prepare you for the accumulation of material riches in abundance. Do you want material riches in abundance? And if not, that's okay. Do you want better relationships? You want maybe some better order and organization in your life? Because you can have all of that. And this book can help you get that. So that's just the publisher's preface as we get started. And once again, do me a favor, push the subscribe button if you've enjoyed this. Push the notification button when we do the video, which will be very, very soon, on the author's preface. What does Napoleon Hill say as he prepares us for the learning of this material, as he prepares us to go into the book? What does he have to say? And I'd be a little bit remiss on this day if I didn't just say this. Thank you, Joe. You have no idea what you've done to help me. Thank you, Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember that our greatest desire for you is for this moment to be the very best moment you've ever experienced in this game we call life. 10 minutes ago doesn't matter. Yesterday doesn't matter. Today matters. Allow this day to be the best day you have ever experienced in this game we call life. Tonight, when you put your head on the pillow, after you've allowed this day to be the best, please do so with a mind full of peace. Remember, calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels